In the heart of a quiet town lies a quaint antique shop, the keeper of an eerie relic, a doll with a history steeped in sorrow. This doll, a seemingly innocent porcelain figure, held a terrifying secret. Its visage, frozen in an eternal, chilling smile, was a silent testament to the tragedies it had witnessed and, some would say, caused. This doll, an antique passed down through generations, held a powerful presence. Its cold, glassy eyes seemed to watch those around it with an unsettling intensity, its delicate, hand-painted features seeming to shift and change when viewed from the corner of one's eye. Each curve, each detail, whispered of a past filled with misfortune and despair. The doll's history was a tale entwined with sorrow. Passed from one unsuspecting owner to the next, it left a wake of destruction in its path. Families once filled with love and laughter crumbled under the weight of inexplicable misfortunes. Businesses once thriving and prosperous were reduced to rubble and bankruptcy. Lives once filled with promise and potential were irrevocably marred by tragedy and loss. This was no ordinary doll. It was a harbinger of doom, a silent specter of sorrow and despair. Its presence was a dark cloud, casting a shadow over the lives of those unfortunate enough to cross its path. Yet, its true nature remained hidden beneath a veneer of vintage charm and innocent allure. The latest to fall under its spell was Emma, a young woman with a fondness for antiques. Drawn to its delicate beauty and the allure of its mysterious past, she took the doll into her care, unknowingly setting into motion a chain of events that would change her life forever. This tale begins when the cursed doll finds its way into the hands of an unsuspecting young woman named Emma. As our story unfolds, we will follow Emma's journey as she grapples with the malevolent influence of the doll, delves into its haunting history, and attempts to break free from the curse that has ensnared her life. Emma, a woman with a love for antiques, was initially charmed by the doll's antiquated allure. This young woman, with a keen eye for the past and a heart full of curiosity, was captivated by the doll's porcelain smile. The doll, with its vintage charm and mysterious aura, seemed an irresistible addition to her collection. But as the days turned into weeks, Emma's enchantment with the doll began to wane. A series of inexplicable misfortunes began to befall her. Relationships that once bloomed now withered. Her vibrant life seemed to lose its color, and a cloud of despair settled over her world. The once captivating doll now sat in the corner, its eternal smile seeming more like a chilling smirk, a silent witness to Emma's unraveling life. Her once thriving business began to falter, and her once warm and inviting home turned into a house of sorrow. The doll's constant presence began to cast a long, dark shadow over Emma's existence. It was as if she had invited an unwelcome guest into her home, a guest who was slowly but surely draining the joy from her life. The doll, once a symbol of antiquated charm, now stood as a harbinger of misfortune. It was an insidious presence, quietly stirring the pot of despair. The more Emma tried to ignore it, the more it seemed to impose its malevolent influence. But Emma was not one to back down. With a determined heart and a resolute spirit, she decided to confront the doll and its mysterious past. She refused to be the victim, the latest in a long line of people whose lives were turned upside down by this seemingly innocent artifact. Haunted by the doll's malevolent influence, Emma resolved to delve into its mystery and break the curse. She knew that to reclaim her life, she had to face the darkness that had so stealthily crept into it. As the echoes of the doll's haunting past began to reverberate louder, Emma braced herself for the chilling journey that lay ahead. The unraveling had begun. Emma's quest for answers led her into the doll's dark past, a tale of love and betrayal spanning generations. As she delved deeper, she discovered that the doll was not just an artifact, but a vessel carrying the spirit of a scorned lover. This spirit, born of a love turned sour, was trapped in the porcelain figure, forever seeking vengeance. The doll's haunting gaze held within it a tale of romance that had blossomed in the heart of the town, only to be cruelly uprooted by betrayal. The spirit was once a woman, deeply in love, who had been jilted on her wedding day. Her despair was so profound that it transcended the boundaries of life and death, manifesting itself in the doll, her most cherished possession. As Emma traced the doll's origins back to a crumbling mansion, the town's history began to unravel. The mansion, once a symbol of grandeur and prosperity, was now a monument to the past's forgotten tragedies. It was here that the jilted bride had lived, loved, and faced her ultimate betrayal. In a dusty attic, Emma found a weathered journal that bore witness to the tragic love story. The entries, though faded with time, painted a vivid picture of a whirlwind romance that ended in heartbreak. The journal's cryptic entries hinted at a love so potent that it refused to fade, even after death. The doll, it seemed, was a constant reminder of the love the spirit had lost. Passed down through generations, it was a symbol of the spirit's eternal quest for retribution. The curse that plagued the doll's owners was the spirit's way of making the world feel her pain, her sorrow, her despair. Guided by a weathered journal, Emma realized the curse could be broken by reuniting the doll with the spirit's lost love. The realization was as chilling as the wind that blew through the mansion's hollow halls. The key to breaking the curse lay in setting right the wrongs of the past, a daunting task that would require Emma to venture further into the town's haunted history. Armed with newfound knowledge, Emma embarked on a journey through the town's history, facing spectral apparitions and unearthing long-buried secrets. She traversed the cobblestone streets, her steps echoing in the quiet twilight. Each landmark she passed whispered tales of old, of love, betrayal, and sorrow. The town, once familiar, now held a haunting allure, its stories intertwined with the cursed doll clutched in her hands. Emma's path led her to the hallowed grounds of the town cemetery. Here, under the watchful gaze of ancient weathered tombstones, she sought the resting place of the scorned lover whose spirit apparently inhabited the doll. Cold chills ran down her spine as she moved deeper into the graveyard, the whispers of the past growing louder with each step. Suddenly, a spectral apparition materialized before her, its ethereal form wavering in the moonlight. It was a woman, dressed in the attire of a bygone era. Her eyes held a sadness that echoed through the centuries. Emma felt a wave of sympathy for this lost soul, trapped in the realm of the living by the chains of her past. With a deep breath, she approached the apparition, the doll held out in front of her. She spoke softly, assuring the spirit that she was there to help, to mend the broken threads of her tragic love story. The ghostly woman looked at the doll, her spectral eyes welling with tears. Emma's journey took her to the town's old library, its archives holding records dating back to the town's founding. Here she pieced together the rest of the story, her heart heavy with the weight of the past. She discovered the identity of the lover, the circumstances of their betrayal, and how their love story had become a tale of eternal sorrow. Her journey led her to the spectral ruins of a mansion, the stage for the climax of her eerie adventure. The mansion, once grand and majestic, now lay in ruins, its grandeur a mere ghost of its past. As she approached the crumbling edifice, she felt a shiver of anticipation. This was where the doll's tragic tale had begun, and this was where it would end. In the moonlit ruins, Emma, with the doll cradled in her hands, stood before a ghostly apparition. The spectral figure, a translucent echo of a once vibrant bride, hovered in the spectral glow of the moonlight, her gaze fixed on the porcelain doll. The air was thick with anticipation, the silence of the ruins punctuated only by the distant hoot of an owl. Emma found her voice, a whisper in the stillness, carrying with it the weight of generations. "This is yours," she said, extending the doll towards the apparition. "It belongs with you." The spirit, seemingly frozen in time, remained motionless, her gaze locked onto the doll. As Emma continued, her voice grew stronger, echoing across the ruins. She spoke of the love story she had unearthed, the betrayal and the heartbreak. She spoke of the injustice that had been done, the wounds that had never healed, and the vengeance that had spanned centuries. And with each word, the spectral bride seemed to soften, her harsh, ethereal glow dimming into a softer, sorrowful luminescence. With a final whispered plea for forgiveness, Emma extended the doll, now seemingly ordinary, towards the spirit. The spectral bride reached out, her ghostly hand passing through the doll. There was a moment of silence, then a rush of wind, as if the very air was breathing a sigh of relief. The spectral bride faded, her form dissolving into the moonlight, leaving behind only the doll, its once haunting aura now absent. As dawn broke, the malevolent influence faded, leaving the doll bereft of its haunting aura. Emma stood alone in the ruins, the doll resting innocently in her hands. The curse was broken, the spirit finally at peace. But the echoes of a love gone terribly wrong would haunt the town forever. Emma left the town with a newfound wisdom, a reminder of the power of love and the dangers of vengeance. And while the doll's dark legacy was over, its story, a tale of love, betrayal, and redemption, would continue to be whispered among the relics of the past.